Chapter 49. Lily was stunned. It seemed like she had guessed what kind of trick Vivian was going to play, but before she could stop William, he had already gone ahead and laughed heartily. Miss Vivian came to challenge me. Even if I don't dare, I have to accept it. Lily's face turned pale. Vivian seemed to have accidentally glanced at her and sat down. She lifted her leg, tilted her waist, and placed half of her elbow on the gambling table, the thin silk sliding across her smooth skin. Her body from top to bottom, some parts needed to be curved, some needed to be straight. William's gaze paused for a second before moving to the table. Vivian pretended not to know anything, even opened her eyes wide, and softly teased, "You're much more handsome than before." William turned to look at her after hearing this, and before she could finish speaking, her eyes filled with surprise and admiration ran from his bare chest to his waist, full of affection, praising. "I didn't expect your figure to be so beautiful, so manly." Serafina was shocked, as expected. After 3 days of parting ways with a gentleman, seeing him again had to be viewed with different eyes. Vivian had learned her flirting tricks so well, and even dared to tease Lily's man in front of everyone. Although Lily still kept smiling, her clenched fist revealed her mood. Perhaps she just wanted to pounce and bite Vivian. All men love to be complimented by beauties, let alone Vivian using such a soft tone like the spring breeze. William immediately smiled happily. "I've never seen Vivi in a two-piece swimsuit before. Seeing her today, my eyes really light up. But to be honest, your figure is still as great as ever." Hearing him unconsciously change his form of address to Vivi in an intimate manner, Vivian curled her lips into a smile, pretending to glance at Lily inadvertently. Lily focused her mind on the gambling table, her face showing no change in emotion. But her heart was already churning. Even an idiot could see that Vivian was seducing William. Vivian was so despicable. Just after sticking to Jaden, she was eating from the bowl and looking into the pot, deliberately wanting to compete with her to make her angry to death. Just this little trick could make William fall for it? Ridiculous. Serafina standing by saw this, suddenly got excited, sat down next to Vivian. She leisurely held a glass of champagne, drank wine while watching the fight. Lily saw Serafina. The anger she had for Vivian had somewhat subsided. If it weren't for her intelligence this time, guessing that Mia would play a trick, her William would be sleeping right next to Serafina right now. Although she still knew that Mia would secretly interfere, but when she knew that Mia wanted to do this, she was still shocked and scared. Luckily Hannah was stupid, creating a big opening. She had a chance. Otherwise. She looked at Serafina, her eyes heavy. From what she saw, Serafina also liked William very much, and she couldn't let Serafina carry out her scheme. Serafina didn't even bother to look at her. Instead she urged Vivian to start quickly. Vivian stroked the dice in her hand, smiling at William. "Betting money is nothing new. Let's bet on something else?" William was excited by her deliberately mysterious appearance, and naturally followed suit. "What do you want to bet?" She propped her cheek, pondered for about 10 minutes, and said, "Let's do this. Let's make a bet. If I win, you have to accompany me all night. Whatever I tell you to do, you have to do it, okay?" He was stunned, not knowing how to respond, but facing the initiative of a gentle beauty like her, a strange excitement and agitation surged in his heart. Lily heard this, snorted, and kindly reminded, "Vivian, I think Jaden is probably your boyfriend, right? Aren't you afraid he'll be angry?" "Just normal friends, not boyfriends." Vivian had prepared in advance, answered clearly, glanced at William. "Moreover, I want Mr. Kensington here to follow me all night, just to massage my shoulders and back. Is that not okay?" William of course knew that Vivian was just making an excuse. How could he just massage her back? However, he still didn't know what his feelings for her were, but she was really hot. He had no reason to refuse. He nodded, smiling leisurely. "Okay, but if I win, Vivi will have to massage my back all night." Serafina thought to herself, "I came all the way here, just to hear you guys say these words?" Lily gritted her teeth, smiling stiffly. As for Serafina, she exclaimed, "Where did William put Lily? Or did he just want to take her body and not care about her heart?" These men were really. Vivian chose areas 8, 5, 3 to pour money, while William chose 1, 2, 7. After the staff with the long ruler finished dividing the chips, the most was in Vivian's area. She clapped her hands. Just play one game, I won. Lily sullenly said nothing. William smiled again, reluctantly shaking his head but looking more cheerful. Tonight I'll let Vivi deal with me. Unexpectedly, Vivian lazily stood up, looked at him from above, smiled gently and slyly. It's just a game, you owe me. When I remember, I'll find you to get it back. Serafina also stood up, couldn't help but secretly admire Vivian. If she spent the night with William, he would probably forget her very quickly. But if she refused, it was completely different. There would always be a big rock in his heart, enough to torment him for a while. Sure enough, when Serafina left, she glanced at William. He was staring at Vivian's bare back, and he clearly had a look of longing. Serafina and Vivian walked towards the swimming pool together. Vivian suddenly asked, "Do you know why when William and I were gambling just now, Lily's reaction wasn't that harsh?" Serafina was not interested. Isn't she always like that in front of men? Because Jaden was standing not far behind me at that time. Vivian turned the sparkling silver piece on her bracelet. I saw the reflection on the glass. Serafina was still not interested, and answered casually, "You gamble with William like this, aren't you afraid that Jaden will be jealous?" "So what?" Vivian hugged her shoulders and sneered. "I've already taken everything I could get from Jaden. If there's no more benefit, then he and I don't need to be together. I don't want to serve him in the future, unless he has something I need." Serafina turned her head to look at her, feeling that Vivian had changed from head to toe. A girl who was always naive and simple to the point of being a bit silly, and who seemed to have never had a real relationship, yet her eyes changed when looking at this kind of relationship. Serafina couldn't help but sigh. "I just think that if because of the things you said, such as getting back at Lily, you had to give yourself to Jaden, then it wouldn't be worth it." She spoke very gently, but without any mercy. After all, this was Vivian's choice. Vivian was not surprised, calmly shaking her long hair. "He thought he slept with me, but I thought I slept with him. It was fine for me to see that it was beneficial. After all, he is not a good person, and I am not pure and innocent." Serafina was not surprised, and did not stop. William's previous words had revealed enough information. Vivian saw her expressionless face and no reaction, suddenly saying, "You really don't care about anything about me? No matter what I say, you always act like you don't care. Do you know that doing that makes other people's hearts cold?" Serafina looked at her, helplessly smiling. "My expression makes your heart cold, even more than you always do things that make my heart cold." She replied indifferently. "If you know everything, what's there to care about? I can tell without you saying it, the relationship between you and William is much more intimate than what you two show on the outside. Maybe you two have slept together." This time it was Vivian's turn to be surprised. After a moment of being stunned, she suddenly smiled. "That's right." At this moment, her smiling face seemed to sink into the darkness. Serafina looked at her silently, not saying a word. Vivian was 20 this year, William was 24. 3 years ago, William was already a cunning and elegant man who had entered society, while Vivian was just an innocent schoolgirl. A long time ago, they were brother and sister in friendly families. It had been so many years, but he had not yet given Vivian the title of girlfriend. All he had given her was gossip and petty care, along with the paring and teasing of people in the upper class. Serafina stood by the rippling pool. The water vapor was cold. Vivian looked at the sky, and sighed deeply. That year was also summer, also at this twilight, he placed himself on the last desk in the classroom. "Serafina, you all think that I'm clinging to him, and he doesn't like me. But if I say, the first time I didn't know anything, it was him who guided me, would you believe me?" Serafina hugged her arms, her face calm as she looked at the water that was gradually turning black like an ink-soaked painting. The swimming pool was originally blue, as if someone had poured ink into it. It was getting darker and darker. That day started from when the sun went down, until the moon appeared and the stars lit up. Vivian tilted her head, looking up at the sparse stars in the sky. "It was a long, long time. I felt very hurt but also very happy. Because he said he liked me, said doing this was a way to express liking someone. This was something everyone who liked each other had to do. Look, I've been good, always liked him, always believed in what he said. For the past 3 years, when he had something to do, he would call me, when he had nothing to do, he would chase me away, I was still having fun. Vivian's lips trembled. Even on your 20th birthday, he and I were once behind your mountain. At that time, he was already ambiguous with Lily. Serafina frowned, feeling nauseous. Vivian was still talking to herself. Now that I think about it, I'm really a despicable and stupid girl. I've always stubbornly believed that I can only do this with people I like, and absolutely can't do it with people I don't like. But it wasn't until last week that I discovered that I can also use this method with people I don't like Jaden. Have I also changed? Serafina was still a bit hurt, but when she heard this, she curled her lips, her eyes solemn. Regardless of whether you've changed or not, it's all the same to me. You didn't know how to live for anyone before, but you definitely don't live for yourself now, so I can't like you before and after. Vivian widened her eyes for half a second, smiled bitterly and sweetly, and restored her previous arrogant look. Who needs you to like me? I like myself. Serafina was not surprised, but instead laughed. You can say that, it's good, it seems you have made some progress. Congratulations, you are no longer like before, treating other people's comments as goals and chasing after them headlong. Vivian was stunned for a moment, then laughed again. She took a deep breath, secretly letting out a cold snort. William, Lily, I absolutely will not forgive you. Just now, after talking to Vivian, Serafina looked at William a few more times. She originally thought that although he was cruel, he was also sincere to Lily. Now it seemed that it would be a long time before he could be like that. But his ability to coax women was definitely well trained. Otherwise, how could Vivian have been so naive and secretly maintained a physical relationship with him for so many years? This guy is really a first-class scum. Serafina looked at the group of boys and girls playing around in the pool without any interest in joining in. She didn't know where Andrew and Emma were going or what they were doing, but they had left before the party started, and Harrison was still nowhere to be seen. She wanted him to at least see her in a bikini, otherwise everyone at the party could see her, but he couldn't. It would be too pitiful for him. After waiting for a while, she felt exhausted again, turned around, intending to go to the lounge to sit for a while. From the sandbank to the marble-paved corridor, she turned into the European-style house, wanting to find a quiet room, so she walked a few steps further in. Unexpectedly, she heard a series of strange sounds coming from a certain room. The men's voices growled rudely, the women's voices gasped endlessly, lingering in the hallway, wave after wave, endlessly. She felt the hairs on her body stand on end, and was about to go back the same way, when she suddenly heard a familiar cry. She almost threw up. Did William and Lily have to be so hungry? She thought for a moment, shrugged, turned around and left. But a second later, the man's strong, hoarse voice came. Comfortable? Scream a little louder. Her body that had not yet turned away suddenly stiffened. Wasn't it William? She tiptoed closer to the window. The women's moans rang out one after another. She frowned. What the hell was Lily doing? Who was this strange man? She couldn't help but peek inside to take a look. Unexpectedly it was Jaden. She frowned, looking at Lily's seemingly dazed face, suddenly understanding. Could it be that Lily was drugged? How could that be? She saw Jaden about to turn his head, immediately avoiding it, but saw a tiny thing on the window. A pinhole camera? Her spine went cold. These guys were really vicious. She panicked and turned around to leave, not knowing which direction. She went through several corridors, but when she reached a certain room, she heard the faint breathing of a woman again. As expected, when attending a party, one shouldn't go to places with private rooms. This time, she shouldn't stop. She was about to walk away but felt something was wrong. It seemed like there were only women's voices. Moreover, it didn't seem like they were enjoying themselves but more like they were suffering helplessly. She was nosy again, pushed the door open. The lights of the party on the beach in the distance shone into the floor-to-ceiling window in the dim room. A woman was lying near the window. Her consciousness was hazy. A man squatted beside her, touching her. This girl must have been drugged like Lily, this disgusting scumbag. She gritted her teeth, took a few steps forward, and kicked him straight in the head. The other guy seemed to have eyes in the back of his head. He dodged immediately, rolled around, and stood up very quickly. Who is it? Before he could finish speaking, she gritted her teeth. You rotten guys use drugs to force women and girls. You are truly a bunch of disgusting and lowly scum. You bastards should be the ones to cut off their descendants. Before she could finish speaking, she kicked forward, forcefully cutting across his neck. The other guy dodged very quickly, circled behind her as fast as lightning, and grabbed her shoulder tightly. He sneered in her ear, great figure, nice legs too. She was furious, raised her knee, and swung her leg behind her to kick the other guy straight in the groin. He quickly dodged, she escaped from his grip. Without hesitation, he added another kick. This time he couldn't escape, he received a painful blow, and was kicked to the ground by her. But when he fell, he pulled her shirt with him. She couldn't hold back her shrill scream of awe. She was pulled down by him, a few buttons of her shirt were torn off. She roughly pushed his hand away with one hand, and used the other to support herself, quickly jumping away, and extremely viciously kicked him before going to check on the other girl's condition. She walked over, and thanks to the lights outside, she saw that the girl lying on the ground was unexpectedly Emily. Do you know that she is still a minor? Remembering what she had seen and heard just now, she could not contain her anger, and turned around and shouted, What do you men think of women? When you can't take care of your lower body, you drug them. Are women your sexual tools? Why don't you all go and be breeding pigs? In the quiet darkness, a laugh suddenly came. Laughing again? She clenched her fists. Today she must beat this despicable man who despised women to a pulp. I heard that Emily harmed you and your younger brother and was almost killed by Alex. He walked over, curious. Why do you still want to help her? She was stunned. How did he know about this? The lights of the party outside shone on his face. His indifferent yet dignified face appeared in the dim light. Now she could see clearly, the person she had just kicked crazily was unexpectedly the host of this party, Logan Blake. Logan looked at her and smiled. Your body, your skills are very good. She lowered her eyes and did not reply to him. It was already like this when they first met. Greetings or flattery were useless now, so let's get straight to the point. She raised her eyes and said calmly, I want to buy back some or all of the 8% of the Beaumont family Smith Group shares that you own. His expression was like he had heard a joke. You think if you want to buy, I will sell to you? Miss Beaumont is really naive. Of course I know you won't sell. I just hope that tomorrow after I come to sit in your VIP room number 5, you can give me a chance to challenge you. She smiled properly. Challenge me? He frowned, feeling like he was being looked down upon, and pointed at her. You? Challenge me? Yes. She replied, her voice firm. I challenge you. He saw her looking straight at him without any hesitation, her clear eyes showing no fear. He laughed. This party was arranged by my younger brother. To be honest, I don't like it either. If you can make him postpone this party within half an hour, I will give you a chance. You have to keep your word. She curled her lips slightly, without hesitation picked up the landline on the table, and dialed. Hello, I heard that the Macau police are cracking down on LSD drugs very hard, right? Yes, I am in the lobby area next to the Venetian's number 4 swimming pool. Could you please come here to arrest someone? Thank you for your contributions to the security of Macau and the peace of the world. Goodbye. She hung up the phone and calmly looked at him. You said half an hour? I shortened it to just 10 minutes, is that okay? When Logan heard the content of her call, his eyes were filled with surprise. He originally wanted to hang up on her, but he didn't expect her to finish talking so quickly. This little girl had caused a big problem, and she was still so calm. She was really reckless. After being silent for a few seconds, he picked up Emily who was lying on the ground and rushed out, turning his head to say to her, Get away from that phone quickly, the further the better. If we delay a few more minutes and someone checks it out, no one will be able to save you.